Welcome to the workshop. Thanks for clicking on this video. With Christmas on its way, I've decided to do another reindeer. I'll put the plans on my Etsy page as usual if anyone wants to try and make one of their own. Started off drawing templates and then refining it in software. After printing the template out, I then obviously have to cut it out to the right size. Not a hard process to do, just take a Stanley blade and obviously chop things down to size. Then I mark up the sections that I need to cut out, and then on the chop saw I chop them to length. After cutting them to length, I then use some spray glue to mount my plans. Occasionally I get comments saying why not use the super glue and masking tape so that I can peel the plans off afterwards. There's no need to, because the plans are going to be destroyed when cutting. So you could stick these on with any type of glue you like. That edge that overhangs I will trim off later. I tend to do that just by rubbing it with a bit of sandpaper on the corner and it cuts it off. And there's the main body of the reindeer being glued onto the plans. Once everything's glued up and set, I then take the head over to the bandsaw and start cutting it. So the first cut I make is the inside of the antlers onto the head, and it's just literally these two cuts I want to make. Then I can drill a hole to accept the tea light holder. However, I wasn't holding the work properly, and yep, that happened. Of course, I forgot to start my camera again, so you just see me jumping straight back to the bandsaw here. Now I can finish cutting out the top profile, and it's literally just following these lines, cutting out what I've got. It's quite a simple cut. The final two cuts remove the edges, and I want to keep hold of these edges because obviously one of them's got the side profile on. Then I use some hot glue to glue everything back together, and this is one of the reasons why I use a slightly wider piece of stock than I need to, so I can hot glue the pieces back together without actually getting any hot glue on the finished head itself. Once I place it on, I normally hold it just for a few seconds just to make sure everything's lined up and it goes off nicely. On the bandsaw now, I can turn it on its side or follow the side profile. Obviously, you're working down towards the back of the head. I want to try and leave that bit of hot glue holding everything together for as long as possible. And then once I've almost finished, I cut the last bit, which is the ear. And finally, after cutting that bottom profile of the ear, the head is now released from the hot glue. Straight onto the body. Again, always starting with this simpler profile. The bit that gives me the two big sections I can hot glue back on later to turn this thing through 90 degrees and then cut it out. And this is real straightforward, just a handful of cuts here. The final cut releases the section between the legs. You can discard. Dollop of hot glue at the top corner. Just like before, position everything back together, make sure everything's square and straight. Add a little bit more hot glue again, place the top bit back on, which has the side profile. Once I'm happy that's dried, simply back on the bandsaw and cutting this out. Now the reason why these legs are at a slight angle like this and I'm cutting here is it means that the chest will be slightly lower than the rear end, and it kind of works nicely. I did it on my pug, which I'll put a link in the corner if anyone wants to see it on the pug. I did it a lot heavier on the pug. The angle's stronger. Here it just helps to give the chest a bit more weight to it. And then finally releasing that. The neck was slightly oversized, so I've refined this on the belt sander. Quick test fit, sorry it's out of focus, and then just a few more rubs there on the corner of the belt just to make it fit nicely. The head gets glued on with just a bit of normal wood glue will be fine. It's a tight fit. I don't want to be so tight that it splits the head when I push it on. I did make that mistake on one of my test pieces, that this joint was so tight that when I pushed it together the head split. And what I'm looking to do here is actually get the neck to stick up through the top of the head slightly, and to make sure that the top of the antlers, which of course is where the tea light is going to sit, is level with the feet. We'll do a couple of just test fits here. And then using one of the side offcuts with the top cut off, I can now go back to the bandsaw and just cut this notch out for the neck where it sticks up. Side offcut will allow me to keep the head perpendicular to the bandsaw blade. There you can see now just that little notch there. Then to hold the T-light holder in place, and also this gives some strength to the antlers, mix up a bit of 5-minute epoxy and just dob it inside of those antlers there where that recess was drilled earlier, and drop the T-light holder in place. There's the finished reindeer with the T-light holder. Slightly more complicated than the previous one, but nothing that can't be done in a morning's work in the workshop. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click like and subscribe for more videos from Kingston Lane Workshop.